Welcome to another episode of the Reluctant Adult Podcast. My name is Paul, and I am joined, as always, by the man who survived a week in the wilderness, Bill.
Hi, everyone, and have the souvenir photos to prove it.
Yes, those were very nice. You were shirtless in a majority of those photos.
Was I?
There was one where it's like you guys are all dressed like Old West or like, you know, frontier
No, we
men.
were just like the Wolfman.
Oh, what is the Wolfman?
The Wolfman is at Clark's Trading Post. He's the legendary prospector / hermit who's very territorial.
Okay.
He's mining out in the woods, and you take a train ride into his territory. He's
Great.
mining for unobtainium, which
From Avatar?
So this is my thought, because I'm like,
Wait a minute.
well, so here's the thing: the Wolfman predates Avatar.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering where unobtainium came from originally.
Uh-oh, looks like we have a lawsuit. It's
Like,
sue
it's-
James Cameron.
I don't think it's new. I mean, unless it was like gold at one point. I need to know. I need to dive deep into Wolfman lore.
Yeah.
Because it's never the same. The lineage of the Wolfman, I think Clark's is celebrating 50 years this year, which was very nice because we got to partake in the 50th anniversary. This weekend we're in right now is Wolfman Appreciation Weekend. And he's ever changing, so there's a lineage to him. He's never the same Wolfman. There's other Wolfmen taking the role. There's other cars, etc. It's a very interesting gimmick / culture. It
I don't know
traumatized
anything about Wolfman. I've never heard of
traumatized
Wolfman.
my son. There's two camps to every
Jack,
Wolfman
isn't that
story.
something?
You're either very heavy into Wolfman, which my daughter absolutely adores.
Okay.
The Wolfman always has since she was a 2-year-old. Really just appreciated the concept. Really found excitement in it. He chases you through the woods with a gun.
Who wouldn't love that?
You know,
Fun for the kids. Fun
shouting
for the kids.
at you. And the only thing I can liken it to is when you're on one of those trails of terror.
Yeah, that's what I was. When you sent that to me, I was like, "Is it Halloween up there? What's going on?"
And someone comes at you with the chainsaw, and they're
Yeah.
chainsawing you back and forth
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So he chases you up and
You
down.
know, they're murdering you. It's
Right.
fun for everybody.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So by no means is he a wolfman in the common sense.
He's not a
traditional sense.
werewolf man.
He's not a werewolf.
He
He's
just
just
has.
a-
He wears lots of furry clothing. It appears.
Correct. I don't know if
A
he was
vest.
raised by wolves.
He wears a furry vest, but
Yes.
nothing underneath. He likes the chest area to breathe.
He usually has an eye patch.
Okay.
But yes, he is adorned in furs.
He has an eye patch. Not unlike. You know where I'm going with this. An eye patch, not unlike Collector's Crush. So,
Yeah.
could it be that one is based on the other?
Could that be?
Have we figured out something here?
Maybe there's a
Is that what
connection.
happened to her? She went and became the Wolfman, or vice versa?
Yeah, well, he's also always looking for a wife. So,
Well,
like I said, there's a lot
did
of
you
lore.
offer yours up?
No, she was too busy cradling my son, who is in the other
Yes,
camp
not a fan,
of
not a
children
fan.
who is not a fan of Wolfman. So all week long after we saw the Wolfman, you know, we're walking through the woods or we're close to something, he's always talking. Are we in Wolfman territory? Are we in Wolfman territory? And we're like, no. He's got a fear of water and running water in particular, and he can't go over bridges, so we are safe.
Is he a troll? He
I
can't go over bridges. What?
And so he has I mean, I think because of the hygiene, he's afraid of water.
Okay.
But I don't know so much
Maybe
about
he
the
has
bridges
rabies. He has rabies.
Could
He's
have
afraid of
rabies.
water.
Oh,
He has
maybe.
That's probably
Yeah.
the origin of this poor man. He had rabies and was afraid of water.
Yes.
Oh, now he's just a local legend. This poor original Wolfman.
Oh, he's great. He's great. So we had the last time we went up, we did old timey photos.
Yeah.
My wife and my daughter, and my wife was pregnant at the time. So we did old timey photos. We did Old West, and I really enjoyed it. And so we're flipping through the offerings because you know you dress. I don't know if you've ever done this. It's a lot of fun. to do the old timey photos. Sometimes they have North versus South or Victorian. But the one that called to me was Wolfman Family.
Okay, yeah.
And to the surprise of the people running the photo area, they were like, we haven't done Wolfman in such a long time, so they were very excited.
Nobody picks Wolfman.
Nobody
they
picks Wolfman. They had to dust off the fur vest and the hats and everything.
That's funny. Well,
My son. So this is bizarre. I got to watch out for him now. My daughter. They gave me a rifle. They gave my daughter a pistol.
Yes.
And then they gave my son a bone. Who then in turn was like, I don't want the bone. Give me the pistol.
Give me the pistol. That's not a good trade.
Yeah.
Bone. What are you gonna do with a bone?
So she's the woman running the props was like, all right, here's how you have to hold this, and here's how you have to aim it. He's like, I know how to hold one of these.
He knows that.
And I was like, who are
he's
you?
Like holding it sideways.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Gangster.
Kids today. Well, Bill, that sounds like a lot of fun. What else sounds like a lot of fun is San Diego Comic-Con, and we are well on our way on the road to San Diego Comic-Con, or at least what there actually will be of it, because a lot of big studios have announced they will not be participating this year. I think mainly due to the writer's strike. It's really hard to get excited about, production delays. Like, look for this in 2026, maybe.
Look for this in whenever. It's in the can, but we might have to do rewrites.
Chairman. And then it's like things that maybe were going to come out this year or next year. Maybe we're going to have to spread that out a little bit, just so there's something, so that there's just not a blank slate for a few years. So
I was thinking, remember how I said real quick, remember how I said that they're going to go back into like old films and start re-releasing those?
Yeah.
I completely forgot about the foreign market and how Hollywood kind of pulls from that in these times, and how much we got during that original writer's strike, or one of the writer's strikes earlier on.
Yeah, I remember people talking about that. And then there was like Squid Game was a big deal.
Sure.
I think the argument was, if they could be pulling from the foreign market, they would have been. So the fact that they haven't already, maybe there's just not as much out there. But we're gonna see. They're gonna have to do something, and the strike shows no sign of ending anytime soon. I think some sort of clause in people's contracts is starting to kick in, where it's like, well, we don't even have to pay you. Like, you can just be gone. But then obviously no one's gonna want to work for these studios. So we'll see what's going to happen. So Comic-Con, if you're a purist, if you're a Comic-Con purist, you may actually enjoy what this year's Comic-Con will look like, because it's going to have to go back to just being about comics and toys and collectibles.
Yeah.
So this could end up being, from our perspective, from the toy perspective, one of the best San Diego Comic-Cons ever.
There we go.
We've started to see companies slowly announce, or at least tease, what exclusives they're going to have at the show, at the convention. And this week, Super 7, they were all about teases this week. They had a bunch of different teases. And the first tease that we saw for Comic-Con was a can of SpaghettiOs. So fans of the Turtles, fans of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, instantly knew what this was referring to, because back during the second movie, Secret of the Ooze, there was a promotion where you could send away for an exclusive Super Shredder action figures. Now, this figure is very rare, and I feel like this must not have been released in every market, because I would have been all about sending away for a free action figure, and I have no memory of this being a thing. Do you remember this?
I don't, but again, I wasn't a Chef Boyardee kid.
But even so, you would like walk by it and you'd see like free action figure, and you'd be like, well, I'm changing the dinner menu tonight. I need that free toy. So I feel like this is one of those Wonder Bread He-Man situations where like it must not have been rolled out wide. It must have just been like limited markets, or even like the foreign markets. Like, are we sure this was an American thing?
I mean, I thought maybe potentially it was a UK exclusive. I mean, all it is it's a Super Shredder, dark colors. The accessories are a different color.
Right.
No card back. It was polybagged. So
yeah, as a lot of those mail-aways were.
Right.
But the fact that it's a free toy and that it's not identical to the mass release one, I would have been all over that. So I don't know the background of that, but I have to imagine it was not a wide release, and that's why it's so rare now.
It is
so
strange.
Super 7 was teasing this figure with their can of ravioli, or their can of SpaghettiOs, with Shredder-shaped SpaghettiOs.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh, okay, obviously this is going to be a Super Shredder or something. And in my head, I was like, well, they already did Super Shredder in these colors, in these, like, the black. But that was, I was thinking of NECA, who did, like, 3 different Super Shredder variants within like a season. Like, they were just like, there was the original, and then there was like a shinier purple, and then this dark color one, which I think was the best one. And I never found that one in stores. That's the one I wanted. So they teased that, and they finally unveiled, and as most people were able to deduce, it's going to be a reaction Shredder in those black colors, which is pretty lame because it doesn't look like Super Shredder. Like, it's just different colors, and that figure kind of sucks to begin with. It's like not a great figure. So, and then in the fine print, if you read the fine print on the photo, it says pasta not included. Darn. So you just gotta. I think they're selling it in the can, or maybe it'll be like the Funko sodas, where it just looks like a can or a soda, like a soda can, and it's actually plastic. But there's no pasta. I want to see someone reach their hand in there, all the orange goo just like falling over the sides to pull out their disgusting Shredder.
Hopefully it's polybagged. But yeah, that's similar to the Dennis Nedry and the Barbasol can that Mattel put out a couple years ago. But yeah, that was what was that website that we were on? It was an app. What was that crazy?
For what?
For Cobra Commander, going back to that figure, the reaction figure.
Oh, Network,
yeah, not work. Yeah, so those were all on sale for $5 a piece.
Yeah,
at one point.
That whole thing was
fun.
I still have that app installed because I shared the link, so they gave me like money to use on their site. But the fine print said you can only use like $5 per transaction or something ridiculous, and their shipping is always crazy. So like it was never going to make sense to use it because I accrued like hundreds of dollars in affiliate credit, but I would have to make hundreds of purchases.
Yeah, you were messaging me like, all right, this looks good, and then you're like, oh wait, F them.
I was like waiting because they have some like high end collectibles, and they sell
you
like
were
these
really
crazy shoes. I was like, I'm saving this for a rainy day. I'm gonna get like a huge, like really big collectible to put behind me.
Yep.
And then I tried to just use it, and it was like, sorry.
Yeah, gotcha.
You guys. So anyway, so Super 7, they had some other reveals. They had a bunch of Power Ranger reveals. So the big ticket item is the Dragon Zord Ultimate figure, but in the black and gold that we've seen since that original Bandai Megazord they did in black and gold. I think it was a Japanese exclusive. So that color scheme has found its way into being like different exclusives throughout the years for Power Rangers. So Dragon Zord in those colors. The normal color Dragon Zord is supposed to be shipping this summer, so hopefully this is a good sign that they expect to have this on hand at Comic-Con this month in July.
Nice.
Somebody pointed out that the Dragon Zord is missing a key piece, an extra pair of hands that have the missiles shooting out of his fingertips. Okay. That was like a really cool part. So I'm not sure why that's not shown in the photos, in the packaging photos. Hopefully that's still coming with the normal release, or that would be very bait and switchy of Super 7. But they've never done anything like that. So. Oh, well, we're talking about sort of like dropping the ball with Super 7. I did finally get my Moe's apron from the Simpsons Ultimate figure.
In a poly bag.
In a poly bag, and actually it came with like a nice little...
apology?
Yeah, it was almost like an apology, this little piece of paper here.
Wow.
So they ended up sending them to the e-tailers. So like they sent them to Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth, and then Entertainment Earth sent it to me. So it took a little longer than I would have liked, but I finally got it. I haven't even put it on it yet. I'm just gonna keep it in here.
you
Mint
go.
and bag forever.
You sent me a photo of those, that Jabba's hookah.
Yeah, what is the deal with that? That it's up for pre-order on Entertainment Earth.
I don't know why it's up for pre-order. It's just existed. I think if you ever lost the hookah to Jabba's, or if it was never included, I think there were just bags and bags of the hookah and pipe and Salacious crumb forever. Now they're just going to have
official.
bags and bags. Yeah, they're okay, but they've always been
I'm
official.
just saying, like they are if it like Kenner made like a ton extra of them.
Yeah, a ton. So
Yeah,
I don't know
okay.
if at one point they didn't include them in the box, and no parent was like, I don't care. Whatever.
Somebody like checked the wrong box instead of
Jimmy
like
don't need
10.
that.
He did 10,000.
Yeah. Right, so it's going to wind up being the same thing for those Moe's vests or aprons.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. To me, I was like, "Oh, is this like a reproduction thing?" But if you're saying it's official, it was like $1. It was so cheap too. I was like, "What is this?"
God, I just remember, like, you would look in the old collector's guides, and
they
they'd be selling a bag of Salacious crumb and hookah pipe, and it would be like $5.
Well, it's nice to have something from the original line that's
new old
original.
stock. Sure.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't know. I like it. So back to Super 7 and their exclusives. They have some Power Ranger Ultimate, or not Ultimate, excuse me. They have some, back to Super 7, they have some Power Ranger reaction figures, the Core 5, Mighty Morphin, but packaged in boxes that look very much like those original Bandai boxes, the weird sort of angular boxes that you remember from those like 8-inch figures from back in the day. So that's fine. I'm sure that has very nice curb appeal for people who are just like, who maybe don't even know what Super 7 does and just sees like some Power Rangers that trigger some memory. So that's fun. That's great. Not for me. I don't care about the reaction figures at all. I don't know that I care about... Well, yeah, Simpsons is a whole other thing. I don't really like the way they're doing the Power Rangers, but the Simpsons, the style works much better. I don't know if I will get the Dragon Zord, especially the way that line is going, where the most recent Zord to be announced, the White Tiger Zord, got canceled. So I don't know what the future holds. Maybe next year they'll do the Megazord in black and gold. So maybe those two would be a nice bookend. I don't know. If it ends up on Entertainment Earth, maybe I'll grab it. But I'm not going to kill myself for that. While we're talking about Super 7 and their teases, they teased something very big for Thundercats. And what it is the Cat's Lair playset, which is in scale with their Ultimate figures. Now, I was not a big Thundercats fan. Do you know more about those original toys than I do? No,
I don't, unfortunately. I have a couple that wound up in the He-Man lots that I was picking up. I think if you were a fan of He-Man, you were also a fan of Thundercats.
They do seem to go hand
right
in
around.
hand.
They were go
hand and paw.
Hand and paw. They were released right around the same time. They
Similar
didn't quite.
and,
They didn't similar, but not quite 100%.
No,
to scale.
Not. Nope.
But yeah, this thing was their main playset.
Yeah, it's where they hang out. It looks like a big, almost like an Egyptian cat kind of thing.
Right.
From
the front.
It's gonna be big. It's gonna be expensive. $650 plus 100 shipping. So it's interesting that they're making you pay for shipping, or they want you to know up front that they're not including shipping in the price because it's big. It's heavy. It's gonna cost a lot to ship. The way things are going, this could potentially not happen, and if people don't pre-order it. So if you want it, you got to pre-order it. No more waiting around for discounts at this point. Like, the jig is up. It's not going to work anymore with
they
with
managed
Super 7.
They managed to put that vehicle out.
The Thunder Tank?
The Thunder Tank. Yeah.
Yeah, people bought that.
That thing was big.
That was big too. But it won't fit in this. No. So I don't know if there's like a garage part, but I did see that it's not going to fit. So this thing's not big enough. Maybe it's not 1-to-1 the same way that the Thunder Tank goes 1-to-1.
How? I don't know.
I guess
that,
Thundercats. Maybe
so
Thundercats fans, like they've been able to save money for so long because there hasn't been a lot of Thundercats merch.
Maybe.
So now whatever is out there, they're gonna snatch it up. Like, clearly, Super 7 sees a market in the Thundercats arena for these crazy expensive items.
I mean, if Thundercats is all you collect, then
Yeah.
That's very exciting because it will definitely be a showpiece for your collection room or your collection in general.
You need to have it on like Lazy Susan though, so you can spin it.
Is there a lot going on? Right, but is there a lot going on?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
The only part they showed was like the control panel.
Right.
Yeah, I was trying to look it up to see what it looks like, and I'm
looks like Batman's computer console from the.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Maybe I got some like moving levers and stuff. I don't know. It's not for me, so I don't care. But if people want it, you definitely need to pre-order it because if there aren't enough pre-orders, we've seen now, it ain't gonna happen.
Super 7 is not afraid.
Well, they are afraid of losing money. Which is fine. Be smart about it. Speaking of Super 7 and cancellations, the I don't know how to pronounce this character's name, but she's played by Whoopi Goldberg on Star Trek. Her figure has been canceled. She did not receive enough pre-orders.
Which is just pretty wild because she's part of Series 1, so they can go in and pretty much pick and choose and cancel based on the sales and production at that point.
Well, it shows that people aren't just ordering the full set; they're ordering individual figures. Super 7, they have done something smart in that they've added in these incentives to order or pre-order directly from them. Mm-hmm. The latest Thundercats set, you get a whole extra set of heads for all of the characters in that set you order directly through Super 7. So yeah, I mean that's very smart. That's definitely going to move the needle. I'm sure they wish they thought of that earlier. We could have saved a couple of licenses maybe. But yeah, so Rescuers, Whoopi Goldberg, the Good Brothers. That's the company.
Madam Woe.
You think of the Madam Woe, the Tiger Sword, yeah. You think of the failed HasLabs getting together like in the bar from The Shining, and like all the canceled toys, the Super 7 friends coming over. Hey, what are you drinking tonight? We're just stuck here in toy purgatory forever.
Yeah, that would make a good painting. You wouldn't get it.
That'd make a good T-shirt someday.
It would.
Someday we'll get these T-shirts rolling out.
I'm telling you, just use your AI.
Well, that's the thing. But the AI, the quality, I think maybe intentionally at this point is low, so it doesn't work well if you're printing it because like when you print in 300 DPI. When you do stuff for the web, it's 72 DPI. So the quality does not translate as you saw in the photo when you did our neon numb shirt. Doesn't it's not crisp.
I get you.
Usually shirts are like vector art, like our shirts we're wearing today. It's vector, which is scalable. So there's the graphic design nerd chat for the week. Okay, so we've been talking about popcorn buckets a lot in recent shows. We got some big summer movies about to roll out. We have two next week. You got two coming out. You got Barbie, the Barbie movie.
Bucket.
You got Oppenheimer.
Potentially getting a popcorn bucket.
Okay, so here's the thing.
All right.
This is a joke. The Oppenheimer one, it's a joke, 100%.
Okay.
I'm not sure if the Barbie one is a joke because I saw a pink Corvette.
Yeah.
And people from AMC were holding it.
Right.
So is it real? Is it really? Are they really doing the car?
They teased they had an ad teasing popcorn in a convertible.
Okay.
So with a toy Barbie in it. So I can only imagine that yes, we are going to be getting, and that'll be exciting because I'll bring my kid to that and she'll get a Barbie popcorn bucket. Yeah.
It's got the chrome. Well, in the image I'm seeing here, the interior lifts out so you can put the popcorn in there.
Oh, okay.
Without like messing up getting butter all over the seats. So if you do put your Barbie in there, she's not going to be.
That's a fun one because Barbie play sets and Barbie toy like vehicles. There's nothing really that detail specific about them. They are just kind of like hollow plastic at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I told my wife about it. She was very excited.
Oh, nice.
We took the day off. That we're gonna see both those movies that weekend. So Friday we're gonna see one, probably Barbie, and then the next week we each took a day off to go see the other one. So
very good.
We're going back. Nicole Kidman's campaign to get us back in the theaters. It's worked. But back to the Oppenheimer one. So this is clearly a joke. I think,
Yeah.
because like who would commercialize the atomic bomb?
Well, this is the second time I've seen it, because I saw one last week. That was a different bucket.
Okay, so I don't know like my bomb history, so I did a quick little Google, and there were 3 bombs, and like there was very famously the fat man and the little boy.
Yeah.
So in this image, the fat man is the yellow one, and it opens up the top, and you put popcorn in it.
Right.
And then the little boy is the thinner bomb, and it has like a sipper straw, like you would put your drink down. Like that's where I'm like, there's no way. This is no, they're not doing that. It's not real. It would be awesome. People would complain. But this all made me think of all the way back to Comic-Con 2006, when a man named Ken Lilly, who worked on the Palisades Muppet line, well, he worked for Palisades, but famously, at least for me, he worked on the Muppets line. When Palisades ended, he still wanted to make toys. So he created his own company called Creatus Maximus. And one of the first toys that he was going to produce were a line of vinyl atomic bombs, the fat man and the little boy, that were colored to look like famous characters. But like he didn't get the licenses. This was parody. Yeah. So he did R2-D2 and 3PO, which got released because Michael Crawford reviewed them.
I remember
And then he had art for Batman and Robin, which I don't think ever got released. And I don't know the details, but I have to imagine the Lucasfilm hammer came down real hard on this, because you do not want your fantasy space characters associated with the very real atomic bomb responsible for millions of deaths. So that was pretty much the end of Creatus Maximus. But now I feel like if that company came out and he produced those toys today, he would be where Super 7 is. Like, the world was just not ready for that kind of stuff. But now we're joking about it on Twitter. We're making, like, the fact that you would make a popcorn bucket, that's much more like in your face than a collectible. So check that out.
What are you doing on Twitter?
See if those are on eBay.
Why aren't you on Threads? Why aren't you on Threads?
Okay, let's talk about Threads. So we are on Threads. Threads is so easy. If you're on Instagram, it doesn't make sense to not be on Threads, because it's like you click one button and it just like imports all your information. So we're on Threads. I've posted on Threads. No one has like liked our stuff on Threads, which is similar to Twitter, but like people like our stuff on Instagram, so it's not translating there. I like haven't found myself like scrolling through Threads yet, because it's all just regurgitated stuff from Twitter, basically, is how it seems to me. So it's gonna take some time, but follow us
only within
on
a
Threads.
week, so
it's only been since Monday that they started. But on Instagram, it says the number you are of like people who joined Threads.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like 7 billion or something crazy like that. Yeah, like I screenshotted it so I can see the actual number. They didn't put commas, so I couldn't it didn't instantly I couldn't instantly recognize the number, but it was a lot of digits. So yeah, follow us on Threads. Follow us on TikTok. We had a TikTok this week that did very well, and it makes me very happy because it was about Zevos. Or Zevos, as I say. Favorite toy line, best action figure line of all time. And so many people posted saying like, oh my God, memory unlocked. Like, thank you. I've been trying to think of the name of this toy line for so long, and I couldn't do it. Like, so many people said that, and it made me feel so good because I love these toys. And if I could bring awareness to Zevos, I don't know that has any chance of being resurrected or something. But like more people need to recognize how great this toy line was, and the potential is still there. It's like, it's not like this toy line is passé. It still could work today. The fact that you could like incorporate this into 3D printing, like people could be 3D printing their own like crazy parts and sharing those plans. Oh, sure. Zevos is the toy line of tomorrow. It was what's the expression where it's like it was made too early or something? What? You know what I'm saying? Sure. It's like, you know what I'm saying. What's that? She can't hear me. What's the expression where it's like it was like you were made too early? It's like it would have done better later. You were like something was put out too early. you never heard like.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Premature.
Yeah, it was premature. It was premature.
Okay. That's it?
Like my first son.
Barely.
Well, barely. But that NICU bill was real, though. That bill was real.
Are you going to rebrand the podcast into the Zivaz podcast?
No, but what I will do is a spin-off series where I review each figure.
Oh, there we
do
go.
Something with that, because clearly there is a market for people who want to consume media about the Zivaz, and
You can be the first one. You can be. You are at the forefront of this. You're like the many Nerf and TMNT creators / reviewers on this platform. You could become the Zivaz champion.
Nothing would bring me more joy than to be associated with the brand Zivaz in some way.
You got to do it,
because I mentioned, I created that message board back in the day. I was the first one to recognize this toy line and be like, people will need a place to talk about this.
There we go.
And they still do. It still needs to exist. People can still make customs. Like, that didn't go away. You can get more parts on eBay. I have a bunch of sets that I didn't open because KB was practically giving them away at one point, and I think I cleared them out because why not?
Yeah,
I thought they would be like gold someday. I'm not convinced they won't be. Yeah, I was like Ryan, Rye guy, Rye-Fi, Rye guy, the Nerf guy. I was like, I'll send you a set. Share it with your following. I want to give some to the people who do these really amazing stop motion videos, because this is what you should really be doing. Like, Hasbro tried to do stop motion. They were going to do like a series of shows on the website. Their website, back when websites were so clunky, they really tried to do a lot with the Zivos website. And before their time. That's the expression. They existed before their time. It's a little clunky there, but yeah.
I enjoyed the fact that there was also several comments just regarding that Bionicle was superior to Zivaz, which
listen, we've talked about how Lego people are a certain breed, and I'm not going to argue with you. If you love Lego, if you have Lego tattooed somewhere on your body, that's fine. I'm not going to change your mind about how great Lego is. That's fine. You've made your decision. You live in the church of Lego, but you're wrong. I'm sorry. Zivos were better.
Speaking of arguing real quick, we made mention, or I made mention, of Jamiroquai being a one-hit wonder. Apparently, I'm very wrong, because there were a few, and the post didn't garner a lot of comments. But some of the comments were one-hit wonder, ? And I was like, yeah, why the heck not? Because I've only heard that one song. Apparently, his name isn't even Jamiroquai. That's just the name of the group. So there's that.
There's more than one person. There's
Correct.
a band associated with the singer.
His name is, I think his name is JK, is the front man. And they are part of like the acid funk movement of music, and they've been around since like the 80s.
Well, good for them.
Good for them, right? They've done a lot.
Whatever.
But the only song that we ever heard was Virtual Insanity. So, you know what? That's what I'm going off. I don't even know
the song. I just remember the visual of the video.
Right.
Like, the song made no impact on me. The moving treadmill room, that was what I remember.
A treadmill room that didn't work, according to Pop-Up Video. But it also made me Pop-Up Video. It also made me just reflect on the fact that, you remember, each week at the beginning of this podcast, we used to go over corrections.
Yeah.
From the previous week.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't miss that.
Back when we made mistakes.
It'd all be
we're
wrong.
Infallible.
Oh yeah, sure.
All be wrong. Yeah.
Say what I like.
Right, hold right there. I'm gonna stop it. For real. Fuck that guy. Coming back, talking about Target clearance. Here we go. For a long time, it seemed like clearance sales were not going to be like a big deal anymore. Like, that was always the most fun part of the season. You'd go to Target, they had the whole aisle of clearance. You'd be like, I never really thought about buying this, but like 70% off, why not? The last few weeks, months, we're back. We got a lot of clearance going on, and this week another round of new stuff hit clearance.
I gotta get out there. I mean, I'm glad I'm out of the woods. Tomorrow I can go and
back to civilization.
Yeah.
So now we have Motu. So I guess that guy's prophecy about Motu being done at retail may finally be accurate, because the whole kitty caboodle is unclear. It's the deluxe figures, the single figures. I haven't seen an origin figure at Target in a long time, other than like the 3-pack. Was it Sunman 3-pack?
Yeah, the Sunman 3-pack.
Yeah,
right.
So bye-bye, He-Man. We'll see you in another couple of years when you relaunch with some other crazy gimmick.
You know, the thing is, those origins, nobody wants to buy those for $18.
Well, that's insane. I remember looking at that, and I was like, that can't be right. Like, that can't be right. Like, those are $10, if that. Like, the turtles. Like, Playmates
Walmart's
puts
got
those
them
classic
$18.
turtles out. They're $10, and
They're $10.
you look at them, and you're like, how can I not buy this? Like, that's a
Yeah.
great price. I need to have this. But
Right.
no, $18. Get out of here. You're crazy.
And 100% of them share the same mold.
Right.
That's the thing.
I know they must, like, I don't understand how this line should cost nothing. It's in-house, all the shared tooling. It doesn't make any sense that these cost as much as they do. Like, what is the deal? So those are all on clearance. If you ever paid full price for a He-Man figure, I'm sorry, because they all were on sale or clearance at one point. Like, you didn't need to pay full price for anything.
So
So
I'm gonna go out and look for that Man-at-Arms.
Yeah, I got him. I got the deluxe.
Oh, you got him.
Yeah, I got him. I got Too Bad, and I got Beastman, because I think they're good figures. And for $16, I showed you my tote where I'm just like, everything I'm buying, I'm not even opening. I'm just throwing in one of those Costco totes. So like, future me will have a field day one day where it's like, oh, I forgot I even bought this. This is great. I love this. Like a present to future me.
That's where I'm at. I have so many totes at this point.
So many
it's just
totes.
like,
the totes are the best. Like, everybody's garage, you just have those black and yellow totes, because it's like $8 now. It's on clearance, or not clearance. It's on sale. It's always on sale. Like, everyone's garage is just black and gold totes. So He-Man on clearance. What else is on clearance? Power Rangers.
Gamorrean
What was that?
Guard.
What would you say?
The Gamorrean Guard.
Oh, is he? I didn't scan him. How much is he? Is he half off?
I believe he's half off too. I think it's $16.
I want to get one of him. Yeah. That's a good price.
It is. So I'm gonna go out tomorrow.
Lightyear.
I'm gonna
Did you say Lightyear?
I didn't say Lightyear. What do we got?
Like the big ship with Buzz.
Ooh. I got that for $15. I love that figure.
I don't even know there's like so many different scales with Lightyear, because there's like the 4-inch scale, but this is a bigger scale. The figure's larger. It is.
No.
I'll show you. It's bigger.
This
is like the huge box with the you can see into it.
Yep.
And it's like originally like 30 or more.
It's 44. I got it for $15. It was already marked
figure
down
is
once.
Bigger than the single card ones.
No, he's not. No.
I don't know, man. It looks different. It looks like a different mold.
Okay, it might be a different mold because he's meant to.
It's like he has more articulation or something.
He might have more. He sits that ship is a great ship, but there's one failing to it, that it has an action feature.
Yeah.
Where you set Buzz in the pilot seat and then you retract a piece, and the canopy or the cockpit opens up and he flies out with his jetpack.
That's great.
It is great.
You don't like that?
But
it's like a hair trigger.
Here's the problem. So if you have a son, which you have 2 of, and you're like, hey, let's play with this together, and you put the dome of Buzz Lightyear in, and your kid doesn't know the functionality of anything, and he pulls the tab, and the dome gets stuck in the inner workings, and you have to dismantle the whole ship just to remove the goddamn stupid dome.
That sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. And you've had it out of the box for 15 minutes? Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, you can't let your kid play with those. They make Lightyear toys for the younger kids, and I got them because I showed you last week the Cold 3-pack, the 12-inch figures, and then you turned me on to all these Amazon deals for those guys. And I was just like running through the aisle on Amazon, just pushing everything into my cart. So I ended up getting them. The best one. I don't think this one is sold in stores. You put water into his jetpack. Yep. And then it turns it into steam.
So you need to send me the link. You need to send me the link to that one, because I have one in my cart, but I'm not sure if it is the correct one, because it doesn't make any mention of it doing that feature.
Well, then it's not the right one, because this
Okay,
one
then you need
specifically
to-
is like it shows the smoke, but it works so well because it has lights on the bottom
Yeah.
of the jetpack, so those illuminate. I sent you the video in the dark. It's
did.
amazing. It's so
Looks
fun.
great.
It's so fun. And this Buzz has the most premium paint job of any of the Buzz figures in this scale, because it's not like flat white and almost is like a silver, and then this one and the one where you squeeze its legs and it twists and it has like the sword.
Yes.
That one has the green paint by his foot, but none of the other ones have the green paint. So like they all look sort of plain from the waist down. This one is the best Buzz.
Okay.
And it's got the like the shower cap that you like without the hair showing.
Oh, yes.
So I'll send you a link, because I got the one with the frustration-free packaging, and it just comes in like a shoebox with graphics on it. Like it shipped
Right.
to me in that. They didn't even put it in like a real
Oh.
box. They just threw a label. So like my son immediately knew what it was, and I was like, well, I guess you get to play with this now too. Thanks Amazon. But then there's the normal version, which is like still full price, or like $30 or something. But Toy of the Year contender. I'll get some video right here if you're watching on TikTok. But it's so fun. It's such a great. I love these figures. I love them. It's obviously done. The only figure I don't have that I want to get is Izzy in her like Buzz Lightyear outfit, because
Okay.
that one was still full price, and I'm not convinced it exists because it's all 3D renders on the listing. So I'm like, I feel like if I buy it, they're gonna send me the other one. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I love this line. So fun. Just the right scale to like play with your kids, because they can bang them around, and they're light because they're hollow, but they're not like cheap. They're just like well made, fun
These-
toys.
I'm saying, I am still saying, I mean, I really wish they had done better, but these are excellent toys. Like you said, they are fun to play with.
They're fun.
Even that 5-inch scale, they are fun to just beat around. They are well made.
Yeah.
You don't really worry about any parts coming too loose, except if you have the
Right.
vehicle. But other than that, just a lot of fun, and it's good that we get them, but it's unfortunate that
Well,
we don't get
even
more.
if it did like the best ever, they did pretty much everything that exists in the movie. So
Right.
unless they started like making up stuff, there's not really anything else that could have been made into a toy.
Well, you know how Toy Story works. They just start, releasing repaints and rehashes and everything like that.
They really like the Toy Story line needs to be studied, because when it started to do so well, they ran out of characters and they started just putting out crazy variants of Buzz and Woody, especially at like the 5-inch scale. Like they're just hilarious. If you ever go on eBay and just search the old, I don't know if it was Mattel or whoever made them, they're just ridiculous, especially Buzz. They made a million
Buzz.
different
Oh,
Buzz.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Green Buzz, glow in the dark.
There's like a
Buzz,
black
silver.
Buzz. Yeah, just a lot of crazy stuff. But it's fun. And like some of them, I guess there are enough fans out there buying them, because some of them are like the price tag on the secondary market is pretty high. Speaking of high price tags, Todd McFarlane, he heard our prayers. He heard the prayers of the toy fans, and he mercifully released another Batmobile with the 89 Batman figure, and it showed up on Amazon at noon on Friday for about 5 minutes, and then it sold out. And I was able to get one. I was able to get two. So I will be sending one to my good friend Bill.
Yes!
I told you that. Did you not see
I
that
know.
part in the message where I said I would send it to you?
did. I'm
Because
just
I'm gonna like.
pretending to act surprised.
I want to see. Oh, like this was a surprise. I want to see if I can change the shipping address to your address, so I don't have to pay for shipping. Like just send free Prime. That would be great.
Would
But
be.
still, see if it pops up again. Try to get it, because I actually
I
do
will.
want like an extra one. Yeah, like
I will try.
so we don't really know what this is gonna look like. It's like, because we thought we knew what the original one was gonna look like, and then it turned out being really shiny, and the canopy looked different. So we're hoping this one looks good. It's probably be exactly the same car, but the real reason people want this is because of that 89 Batman figure, which looks almost perfect, except people really are mad about his neck. Because if you look at the neck on the costume, he could not move his head. It was one solid piece from his like side of his head down to his shoulders. But
Right.
they gave the figure neck articulation.
No.
Like you do.
Sure.
But it looks too thin. It does look too thin.
treat it like the Stormtrooper in 77. He just
Mm-hmm.
plain molded to the torso.
But I think what they could do, like they do for the pelvis, where they have that diaper, like the rubbery part that moves, they could just put like a neck brace around it, and it would be perfect.
He'll hear our prayers again for a second time.
That's right. He's gonna re-release. We heard everyone. We're gonna make your dreams come true. We're gonna release a third Batmobile with the corrected neck on your Batman. I think the head looks better. People were saying it looks more like Val Kilmer. I think it looks better than the one from the Flash movie, so that's all I can say. Like, I don't know. We'll see in person if it looks great. There's a few Keaton Batmans to choose from now. Mezco, the original Neko one, SH I think is putting out one. I think there's even somebody else doing one. So you got some options. If you're not happy with one head, go pick another head.
Right.
But so what do I do with this original Batmobile now? I saw someone paint theirs up like Ecto 1. That's fun.
I think that's what we got to do. I think we just need to mine the well and kind of see what other paint one like the Turtle Van.
That might be good. Yeah, get real creative.
We
could do like an art installation where all the different.
Yes, that was a big thing. That was a big thing like 10 years ago. You'd get like the Stormtrooper helmet, and then you'd have.
Oh like I remember that.
10 artists.
The pink one that ended up being a big deal.
Yeah, the one that was covered in nails. That was interesting.
Sure, that's fun.
Sure.
So, I don't know. I'll figure out what I'm gonna do with it, but it's. I'm excited to get the new one, and it should be coming out soon. I think it's in August.
Oh wow! Yeah, that's the thing with this McFarlane stuff. It's already made by the time he announces it, so it's just
which I do appreciate. I do appreciate that he does that.
It really, I like it because it's really just like it harkens back to like the '90s where you would see something and then you knew exactly like within a week when you would be able to get something like that.
He is a throwback. I think you can say that about him. He like has embraced the internet. But it definitely it's very clunky when he does his videos.
Sure,
it's like if your grandpa was trying to do a video chat, he's like, okay, is it good? It's like facing the wrong way.
We were at Santa's Village. We were at Santa's Village, and it was there was a generational trade off of park employees running one of the rides. So it was an older gentleman and a younger gentleman, and the younger gentleman was working on trying to get the older gentleman to sign off on like the iPad.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, this is so sad. I was like, at least the dude's trying.
He's trying. You got to give him credit. It's hard. It's hard. I don't know the time frame, but there's going to be a point in our lives where everything is done through the Apple goggles. And it's how do you do it? I sign my name?
I know, I've already started with the back in my day stuff.
Back in your day? What were you doing back in your day?
Oh, man. What was it back in my day? Oh, it was... because my kids at the ride home from the trip today, they have their iPads and they have their Switches. Yeah. They have all that entertainment.
Their Switches.
Yeah.
Switch
so
knife.
they have all this. Yeah, right. So they have all this entertainment at their disposal, and I'm just like, kids. When I would go on trips, and I'd say Papa would have to take a camcorder and hook it up to the cigarette lighter, and then we had a tiny
yes.
We had a tiny TV that was powered by the cigarette lighter that had a 6-inch screen, and it was in black and white, and Papa would play tapes. Little tiny VHS tapes.
We would have to bring
8mm tapes.
I would bring essentially a luggage. I would bring luggage, and it would have my Game Gear in it, and it would have enough battery for about 15 minutes of Sonic, and then it was done.
Yep, and it was done.
Yeah. And you'd have to use the extra magnifying glass because you couldn't see. It was so small.
Sure.
Oh.
And then it was just wasted. It was wasted on them. They were like,
sure,
I don't care.
They have no concept. Well, I took my son to the mall this weekend 2 times just to play Pokemon Go. He was just walking around with his iPad. That's why kids go to the mall now, because there's some gyms there.
Oh.
Get some Pokestops. We need to stock up on berries.
God.
It's just a different generation.
I couldn't. We would do a 2-minute drive, and my daughter's like, oh, can I bring my iPad? And I'm like, it's a 2-minute drive. I know the concept of time hasn't fit in yet, but we're only going to the store. You don't need your iPad. Look out. And this was the true kind of we're up in the White Mountains. beautiful scenery, beautiful mountain ranges. You really just get to appreciate like the vastness of the world.
God's
and, like, how
creation.
Yes. And I'm like, Eloise, look at the mountain. She's like, yeah, I've seen one. And it's like
her neck doesn't go up anymore because
it
bent
doesn't
over
move.
from
It
looking at
doesn't
the
move.
iPad. It's
Yeah.
stuck like Batman.
Yeah,
her neck is
whatever.
stuck. She can't move
Right.
left or right. Yeah. But it's fine. That's fine. It is. It's
fine.
our
It's
fault.
fine.
We embraced
allow it.
technology, and it all happened.
Right.
Speaking of technology, gone amok, or run amok. Mattel Creations, Jurassic World: The Gates crowdfund. Let's check in. Let's do our weekly check-in.
Oh, I completely forgot about this.
I know, most people did.
Wonder who else
18
has.
days remaining. It ends on July 27 of this year. And last week, I think it was at 22%. Big progress this week. We are up to 25%. A quarter of the way to the base level, which includes nothing. Includes none of the good stuff. You get
And
the
we're not
gate,
getting
but
we're
it's
not getting
happening.
we're not getting the identifiers, the markers, right?
Yeah, because that
It's
was
off the
early
table.
bird. It's off the table. They need to remove those from the imagery. It's funny. It's like the person like in charge of updating the website probably like quit. It's just like no job security. Like, what does it matter? Go work on another project or something.
Forget
Go work
about
on the
it.
Barbie campaign. Disgusting. Last week, I showed off some of those mega gross minis that I am in love with, and I've been doing a lot of fun photography with AI. And I showed one of what I thought were one of the rare pieces, which is the shoe. And there's two versions of the shoe. There's the common, and there's a rare, which is supposed to smell. And it was in a little poly bag, so I thought, oh, this will be the rare, because why would it be in a poly bag? But it did not smell like anything other than plastic. But this week, I got another one, and already through the bag, I'm picking up an aroma. So I feel like this is going to be stinky. So I'm going to open it up. I want to open it right into my nostril. There it is. It's disgusting. Oh, it's not pleasant at all, Bill.
Is it like stinkor? Like that?
I never
scent?
smelled the original stinkor, so I can't.
Okay.
It just smells bad. Like, just bad.
Wow,
just,
you're really
it's
getting
just
in there.
not like overwhelmingly bad,
Yeah.
but not good. But I can't stop smelling it now.
Okay.
So
God.
it cleared my sinuses. It's nice, actually.
It's like what you use when you have sushi and you use the ginger to cleanse the palate. You're just sniffing this toy.
Is that why that exists?
Correct.
I'm so uncultured with all these food things.
Or like when you go into like a perfume store
still
and they
smell
have
Stuck
coffee
in there now.
beans everywhere, and you're like, what the
right.
hell is up with all the coffee beans? This is something.
Is this technically ASMR? If you're just me
Listen
sniffing.
to you smell
It's stuck in there. It's stuck in there. It's stuck in
Oh.
my mustache. All the beard butter I put in there is like it's captured the odor, so it's stuck now.
Beard butter.
You'll smell it later. Don't worry. What else do we want to talk about? Oh, hey, you were on vacation last week. So was I.
You were.
We did a little bit of a staycation because we live here in Central Florida. So we went to the parks, but we didn't go to the parks. We went to a hotel near the parks, and then we took advantage of the amenities. We did a lot of pooling, but we did go to the free stuff. So we went to Disney Springs, which is always fun. Lots of like nice stores, like lots of stuffed animals, which I'm always a fan of. And then we did City Walk, which is the Universal equivalent of downtown Disney, but it's a little different because first of all, you have to pay $30 to park, which is not great.
No.
But I think the reason is because you have to park there if you're going to either of the parks, whereas if you're parking at Disney, they have their own lots. So it's like even if you're only doing City Walk, you still have to pay because there's no way to say like I'm not going to the parks, I'm just going to the shops. So $30 a park, you walk a long ways to get to City Walk. And then there's a few shops. There's like the general Universal shop. And then there's like a more fun, but a more cramped shop that has like props and stuff. And one cool thing they have is they have a machine that for $8, it will make a plastic hollow Jaws shark thing in front of you where it like injects the plastic and heat, and it spits it out, and it's hot, and it smells like hot glue. So you
Sure,
can
okay.
sniff it. A lot of sniffing this weekend. But it's cool. It's like the penny press machine that everybody knows about. But it's a
Right.
toy. It's a little plastic toy. And I gave it to my son, and I have no idea where it is now. I have no idea
fun.
where it is. So $8 well spent. But
There you
it's still
go.
pretty cool. Different experience going to City Walk than Disney Springs. There's just, it's, you know, obviously different properties. They had some Ghostbusters stuff, very little. But they had some T-shirts, some actually nice T-shirts. And then they had the first series of the Plasma collection, no Egon, but every figure was $40. So they probably will never sell. I don't know what, you know, that's sort of the trade-off with when you find like action figures at theme parks. They mark up the price because they
do.
think like it's like the audience is different. It's not people who would normally buy these.
Right.
They're expecting people to be like, oh, they have like exclusive toys that you'll never see anywhere
Yes.
else
Look at
unless
all
you
these
go to
Landos.
Ollie's.
Look at
Yeah.
all this Lando.
I know all these
merchandise.
Landos. Wow, he must be a popular character in Star Wars.
Yes.
So I did not pick up any of those, but
No, why
it's always
should you?
nice to see some Ghostbusters stuff. I wanted to
go.
go to the Jurassic Park anniversary store, but that's inside the actual park,
Yeah.
the Universal Park. So I missed out on that. Apparently they have a nice display of the original Kenner action figures from Jurassic Park way back in the day, 30
You
years
should
ago.
have. You should have brought your old employee badge and seen how far you
Well,
could have gotten in and been like,
I
well,
do think, you know, I milked that thing for so long. And I would, so like, you can become a seasonal employee and then like, there are some benefits. The benefits have reduced over the years. But when
Oh,
I
of course.
started, however many years I've been here now, you could like get this discount on like their super nice hotels. You would get like a turkey at Thanksgiving, like all these little like fringe benefits that was just like worth keeping your status as an employee just to get these
Yeah.
things. The biggest plus was you could park behind the park and walk right in the back gates and walk in right by Jaws, like a
Oh.
2-minute walk. And I was like, this is amazing. Eventually, they took that away because they built something else back there, like probably the other
Yeah.
Harry Potter land.
Right.
And then they expected people who work there to walk all the way from City Walk. And I was like, not going to happen. So then I was like, I'm not coming in for my one shift a year to keep my employee status. So that sadly ended. But I was telling my son, as soon as you can work at the parks, you're going to work at the parks because I want to get in free.
I want
I want
park
inside
perks.
info. I want the discounts. I want all the things, but I don't want to do any of the work. So
Wow.
he knows his mission. My wife is a huge Harry Potter fan, so like we're trying to teach him a British accent, so he'll be a shoe in to work at Harry Potter Land. Because she had him dressing up in some of like the robes they have in the gift shop, and she was like
Okay.
seriously starting to tear up. She was like,
Oh,
"This is
funny.
the most beautiful thing I've ever seen."
No.
For real, for reals.
Oh, no.
Not exaggerating. So for him to get to work in Hogwarts would be a big deal. We'd be so proud of him. We'd be so proud. He can do anything else he wants, but he has to work.
Bigger dream for him as well.
You say that, but you never know. Have you been watching Marvel's Secret Invasion?
I finished the first 2 episodes. The
Get
third
out of
one
here!
is
You actually
out.
watched it. You're the first person
Yeah.
I've met that has watched the
No.
show. Tell me about
Wow.
it. Is it good?
It's decent if you
Okay.
don't want your standard Marvel like big action.
Fair.
It's kind of grounded.
Okay, that sounds fine. Actually, that does sound fine.
It's got like that. It's got like that. You remember how much I liked like 24. Not to compare this to 24
Right.
at all, but you
Is
know
it
it's
real
got that.
time?
It's not. It's got
It's
like
during
that
the blip, right?
It's after the blip.
Okay, well, whatever. I said I didn't see it. Don't be mad
Yeah,
at me.
it's after the blip. I'm not mad
Okay,
at
that's
you.
fine.
It's after
I just
it.
heard,
damn it.
I heard.
It's after it.
Is there anything during the blip? Is that when Daredevil is going to take place?
That's a good question. It might be when it takes place.
Yeah, that's what I thought I
Explain
heard.
a lot. But
I heard about
yeah,
that.
no, it's decent.
Okay, fine.
It kind of lets they're in the pantheon of the MCU. It always
Yeah.
seemed like Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury was the man pulling the strings and like kind of knew
Right.
like all the goings
Puppet
on.
Master. Yeah.
This kind of throws him into the opposite ring where he knows next to nothing and he's trying to figure this stuff out. So very, very detective story.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's fun. It's got Emilia Clarke in it, Daenerys from
Daenerys.
Game of Thrones.
Daenerys.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Mother of
she's in it.
Dragon.
She's in it. You know,
She was
it's
in
kind of
that
like
Han
one of
Solo
those.
movie.
She was in that Han Solo movie.
People really want a sequel. People really want a sequel to that. I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to end.
I think we get a Lando spin-off. Maybe that's how they'll play it. They'll do a Lando movie, but then they'll have the Han actor.
Han Solo in it for 5 minutes.
Maybe. Or they could just de-age him. That worked fine with Indiana Jones, right?
I haven't seen it yet.
God, you haven't? Isn't this your favorite franchise of all time?
I was on vacation. It means I was on vacation from life.
They don't have movie theaters in the woods. You couldn't pirate it.
They had one movie theater.
Put a big sheet out. Like, haven't you seen the commercials?
I want to see it in a good quality theater. I don't want to see it. The one up in North Conway was like
TikTok didn't spoil it for you yet.
No, it has not, which is great.
It's a different.
I don't know
audience.
how.
Nobody
it is
cares.
a different audience.
Nobody cares.
No one cares.
Nobody cares.
They're all old middle-aged men like me. But
on TikTok?
No. I mean the audience for Indiana Jones.
Right, that's the thing. Yeah, none of the kids are going to film it. Yeah.
Right. No, the theater up in North Conway, we had to question whether or not it was even open because it just looks it's in like a mall storefront, like a strip mall style storefront.
Yeah.
But it looks way run down, so we're like, no, it's closed.
I
don't know. It's got like that old style seating and everything. No drive-in, nothing like that. They couldn't project it on the side of a mountain.
That'd be nice.
I'll get to it this week.
I've never been I don't think I ever watched the movies as a kid. I remember like my grandfather had a hat that looked like Indiana Jones. So even though I didn't see it, like there was an episode of the Muppet Babies where Kermit dressed up like Indiana Jones, and into the opening of the show had a clip from Indiana Jones.
They did.
So I was definitely aware, and then like Chip from Chip and Dale dressed like him. So I was aware of the character, and it was like fun to play with that. I don't think I ever watched the movies. Today I was like, I'm gonna watch it. So I sat down and I had the first one on, and I can't say that it had 100% of my attention, but I watched it and I was like, okay, I don't get it.
Wow.
It was just like, it was basically the stunt spectacular show.
Yeah.
But Harrison Ford was in it. It just seemed like it just like a series of connected action pieces. And the story was very thin. And it didn't even seem like Harrison talked that much. It was weird. Like in the second one, he has much more personality. Okay. I feel like in the first one, because it was originally going to be Tom Selleck. Is that right? That's what Tom Selleck's saying.
Correct. Tom Selleck was in the running.
Tom Selleck was the original.
Attached to Magnum P.I. He couldn't do it.
Right. So I think they let Harrison's personality, or what there is of it, shine a little bit more in the second one. Because in the second one, there's that whole opening piece where they're in Club Obi-Wan, which did people at the time were like, hey, that's Star Wars. Like that's so in your face to have it called Club Obi-Wan. Does Obi-Wan mean something else?
I don't believe so.
It was George is like, gotta put it in there.
Gotta throw an Easter egg in there. The
big Easter egg.
What was it? The tail number on the plane at the beginning of Raiders is a reference too. It's like R2CPO.
Ah, there you go.
Something similar to that. So it's just always been in there.
Love their references. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess the movies they're not like serious. Like it's just like you're supposed to go to the movies and like hoot and holler, because it's like
the whole
plot
idea
to the
was,
second one where the woman is with the other guy, and then she comes along for the whole ride.
Right.
Like it was like, what? This is crazy. And there's a little kid. It's like, what are all these characters all of a sudden? And that one, you saying that was a prequel? Like that's like they lose touch, I guess, by the second or the first movie where it takes place second. It was so madcap to me. I was like, I can't take this seriously.
Oh no. The whole thing was Spielberg wanted to do a James Bond movie.
Oh, okay.
But they wouldn't allow
Never watched those
to do
either.
one. Well, that's fine. He was not a British director. Therefore he
was pissed.
Yeah, so he was like Bart. He's like, I'm gonna make my own casino.
Bart?
Remember when Bart got thrown out of Burns' casino and he said that he was gonna show up the pimply faced kid and build his own casino? Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
What are you gonna do? Invite all your friends?
But now that the toy line is being clearanced, I kind of want to get them all.
What's this? The Indiana Jones toy line?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Dude, they're part of this Target clearance.
Are they really?
They are.
Son of a bitch.
I know. I put in-stock alerts on all the Entertainment Earth listings because I need to at least get the indies. I never saw Indy in store. I saw all the supporting characters. I
saw
did
hidden
see.
indies.
I saw the temple set at Downtown
Yeah.
Disney, but I'm not paying. I don't need the whole friggin' thing. Like the little. That's such an iconic moment. But then watching the movie, it was just so silly. It's like a haunted house. I don't know. The whole thing is so silly to me.
Yeah.
But it was a different decade. It was different.
Oh,
It was different.
I
I heard the new movie is good though.
Okay. Well, then I will check it out this week. It'll start my summer movies off.
I won't spoil it for you.
Just play catch up. Please don't.
I won't tell you that. I won't tell you anything.
Did you have anything to say about Toy Scales podcast?
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about that. I forgot to mention it last week. Our good friends / enemies, mortal enemies, have a podcast. They've stolen our idea. They went the opposite direction. We started as a podcast, and then we went to TikTok. They started as TikTok, and now they're doing a podcast.
Wow.
So it's just fun to hear them chat about their lives, and you get to know their names. I'm bad with names. It was Ryan. Ryan is the man.
Sounds right.
And then there's a woman character. She's a real person. It's a character.
Her name is Scales.
Her name is Scales.
Yes.
Scales.
Scales.
The funny thing is they listen to our show, so they're
do.
gonna hear this if they get all the way to the end.
Damn it.
They reference us a few times, so it's only fair.
Oh, that's nice.
So they talk about it's just like what happened in their week. They talk about things they like. They're going to some conventions. So just it's their first episode, and it was pretty good. So it's only going to get better. So give them a listen, find them on there. Don't listen to them more than you listen to us, but listen to it equal or less.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But yeah, check them out. One last thing for this week, X-Men 97. We're starting to see what
from you at least.
Oh, you got more?
I got one more thing.
All right, you go first then. I don't even care about what I was going to say.
I just want to... No, you're going to talk about X-Men 97, the Sentinel.
The Sentinel.
Figure.
Yes, 12-inch Titan. But for the Sentinel, it's actually kind of neat. The head sculpt looks great. Nice. Maybe I'll just grab that and put that on one of those Buzz Lightyear figures. Make
there you go.
Nice articulated Sentinel. So
those
that's all I got to say about
that. Okay.
What do you got?
That's coming out. What is that? Is that $12?
Well, people are trying to guess what the price should be.
Better not be.
That's
20.
a new game with Hasbro. Guess what the price should be, and when it comes out, it's like double that.
When it goes to Target, you have 6 different SKUs.
Wow. Eventually,
but that's Target's doing. Eventually. Mm-hmm. All right, real quick. I wanted to throw in just like a time capsule moment.
Great.
Another retailer closing. Unfortunately, we are losing the Christmas tree shops.
Get the F out of town. All
you
of them?
haven't heard this? Every one of them.
Are you still there? I got to tell my wife.
This is live breaking news. Everybody.
Where did you hear this?
This is everywhere. So they filed for bankruptcy in May. Chapter 11. They've now gone to Chapter 7. They defaulted on their $45 million loan, and they have until next Wednesday to find investors to buy up everything. But if they do not, which looks like they're not, they are going to be going out of business for good. So they've already started their markdowns. They are at 10 to 50% off all merchandise in stores, and they will be closing by mid-August, I think.
That is a big blow.
They've laid off a third of their employees already.
Such a weird, okay. So Christmas tree shop. You hear that, it's like, is it a seasonal shop? Does it only sell Christmas? Kind of like shooting yourself in the foot from the start.
And that's one of the things, that's the biggest thing. They were going to attempt to rebrand it because they found that anyone outside of New England just assumed that they sold Christmas trees.
100%.
They were a Christmas tree shop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they were going to, before filing for bankruptcy, they were going to go into a rebrand.
Okay. I would love to know. I would love to know what those ideas were. I wonder if they're going to keep. It'd be funny if they ended up we're going to be the Christmas wreath store, totally missing the point that Christmas was the problem.
Yeah.
The holiday tree store. There we go. We fixed it.
No, usually
Well,
with
that
these
sucks.
they just
I'm sad.
rebrand it. They just rebrand it. They just get the first like letters from each of the title words. So it'd be like,
CTS. Yeah.
CTS. What the heck,
CTS.
CTS. Formerly
You're
Christmas
home
Tree
for
Shop.
shopping.
Like how Angie's List just become Angie.
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
that a lot, don't they?
They do.
Dunkin'
simplify
Donuts
it.
is Dunkin'.
Duncan. But so yeah,
Max,
so
TJX.
not as exciting. Similar situation with how Toys R Us went down.
Oh, did Bain
I have-
Capital buy them up? Like
I don't believe it was
Mitt
Bain
Romney's
Capital.
group?
So they were owned up until 2020 by Bed Bath and Beyond.
Oh, well, they're gone too, right?
They're gone too, and then
Oh, well, it's
they
all
were
falling
purchased
apart.
in 2020 by I think it was Hansel
And Gretel?
Group. I don't know if it's Gretel. It might be it might be a different name. I had it
Hansel.
prior. Hansel. So yeah, they'll be liquidating all of their assets in the upcoming weeks.
That's where we saw Santa last year. Damn it.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, so I had a lot of childhood memories of
Oh my
Christmas
God,
Tree
going to
Shop.
the Cape? You would
Going
stop
down
there?
to the Cape. There was one in Shrewsbury. You'd walk over a nice little tiny bridge. There was a candy shop
How you
right
gonna end on
attached to it.
Such a low note. Now
I
the whole
don't
week is
know.
gonna
I'm
be
sorry.
ruined.
It's such a downer.
Damn it.
I just
such a downer.
I needed to throw this in the time capsule.
You couldn't
For the week.
You couldn't shoulder this by yourself.
Couldn't.
You had to share.
Couldn't save this for the after show. No, this is big news.
It's like I'm not gonna say they even like had anything. Like this is like how Toys
Right.
R Us ended too. It's like I didn't buy anything there, but it was nice that it existed. Like it just
I
wanted to exist.
always went in praying that maybe they had something exciting for toys because they always did have
Yeah.
a small toy section,
They
but it
always
was
had
always
toys,
like
yeah.
it was always like this weird, like
Yes.
almost off-brand style.
Well, right. It was like
Like,
it was created for some other store, and that
Yeah.
store got liquidated. Yeah, it was very.
Right.
The toy selection was very strange.
It was
Like,
licensed,
once in
but
a
it
blue
wasn't-
moon, they would have like something that was
Yeah.
like liquidated from somewhere else, but very infrequently would they. Have
They weren't a
anything worthwhile.
closeout store by any means, but yeah, they would buy stock, and you'd see
Yeah.
like an odd Transformer here, but it would be like Transformer Man or something. You know, you'd see it like in Cracker Barrel, like similar to that.
Yes, they were very Cracker Barrel-y,
Yeah, Crackle
but
Barrel.
without the charm of the Cracker Barrel.
Yeah,
Cracker Barrel, we went there the other week, and I was like, what is a Cracker Barrel? Cracker apparently referred to whips, which were just shipped in barrels. So
Oh.
the store is named after a barrel of whips, which
Barrel
you
of
can
whips.
take that as you wish. I'm pretty sure it is meant has a certain historical connotation to it. I don't know. I'm sure whips were used for lots of things. Indiana
Yeah.
Jones had a whip. Nobody would
Yes.
accuse him of being
can
anything
whip
but a gentleman.
Whip a horse.
You can
Back
whip
in
a
the
horse.
day, you'd whip a
We don't
horse.
recommend it. We're very animal friendly here.
Yeah.
All right, Bill. Well, you've made me very sad. I have to go
I'm sorry.
tell my wife. She's gonna
Go
burst
cry.
into tears as
Go
if she was seeing her
Go
child
sniff your
and-
toy shoe and get back into.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Back into your happy place.
Wait, is that the right one? I don't think that.
Oh
Wait.
no.
Oh yeah. See, I sniffed the wrong one, and it doesn't smell, but this one smells.
There you
yeah.
go.
Here,
Now
can
you're
you
happy.
smell it? Can you smell
I
it?
can all the way up here.
You
Ooh.
can smell it. I don't even know what it
Nice.
smells like. It just smells bad. Not even that bad. Just smells like something that shouldn't smell like that. All right, Bill. Anything else for this week?
No, I already ruined your night. Sorry.
You ruined my week. All right, everybody. Well, you know what we say. We don't want to grow up, but we already did. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye, everyone.